Welcome to the channel, coin collectors and curious minds alike. If you're fascinated by the hidden treasures in your pocket change or the astonishing stories behind ordinary-looking coins, then you're in the right place. Because today we're diving deep into the intriguing tale of a humble little coin that's become a big money legend among collectors. The 1970-60 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin minted in massive numbers, yet shrouded in mystery due to a specific set of rare and unusual mint errors that have made it worth as much as $36,000 in private sales and auctions. Yes, that's right. A single penny originally worth just 1 cent could now command tens of thousands of dollars, and we're going to explore every possible reason why that's the case. So sit back and stay with us as we unfold the incredible world of coin errors, minting mishaps, varieties, and the fascinating history that makes this coin so desirable. Beginning with the basics of what was happening in 1976, a year full of patriotic fervor in the United States due to the bicentennial celebrations, a time when the U.S. Mint was busy producing commemorative coins for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins, and although the humble penny didn't receive a commemorative redesign that year, the sheer volume of coins being minted across various facilities meant that quality control was sometimes pushed to its limits. Especially in the Denver Mint, where millions of Lincoln cents were struck, and among these, an incredibly rare group of coins received errors that slipped past inspection, making them invaluable today. And to understand the scale of rarity and value, you must understand how coins are minted. The process involves multiple steps, including the preparation of planchets, blank coin discs, the engraving of dies, which stamp the coin's design, and the striking process where immense pressure is applied to impress the design onto the planchet. And at each of these stages, something can go wrong. Whether it's a misaligned die, a double strike, an off-center strike, or a wrong planchet being used, and for the 1970-60 Lincoln cent, several such errors have been documented and verified by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, adding immense collector value to the coin. Starting with one of the most infamous types of errors known as the double die error, where due to a misalignment or slippage in the hubbing process, when the design is transferred from a master die onto a working die, certain features on the coin appear doubled. And while doubled die cents are famously associated with the 1955 and 1972 issues, rare instances have been confirmed in the 1970-60 cents as well, including doubling visible in the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," on the obverse, or sometimes on the date itself, and sharp-eyed collectors have identified subtle but clear doubling that significantly increases the value of the coin, especially when certified by professionals. And then there are the repunched mintmarks, RPMs, a common error in the pre-1980s era when mintmarks were hand-punched into dies, which could result in overlapping impressions of the D mintmark for Denver, sometimes seen slightly offset north, south, east, or west of the original punch, and such repunched mintmarks are especially collectible when they are dramatic and visible without magnification. And the 1970-60 RPMs have been catalogued by numismatists, and can command premiums in the thousands when in mint state condition or better. And it's not just RPMs and doubled dies that bring value. The 1970-60 cent has also been found with off-center strikes, where the design is stamped away from the center of the coin due to improper feeding of the planchet into the press, leading to coins with partial designs and blank areas, and the further off-center the strike without compromising the date or mintmark, the more valuable it is to collectors who prize both the error and the legibility of the identifying features. And then we get into the striking errors such as die cracks, cuds, and die breaks, all of which result from worn or damaged dies being used beyond their effective life, leading to raised metal anomalies on the coin's surface that look like lines, blobs, or missing parts of the design. Collectors especially love major die breaks or cuds on 1970-60 cents. And some of the most extreme examples have been auctioned for several $1,000s on their own, particularly when accompanied by other errors like misaligned dies or off-center strikes. And let's not forget the wrong planchet errors, which occur when a blank meant for another denomination, such as a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin, ends up in the Lincoln cent press, leading to a coin struck on the wrong metal, weight, or diameter, and these are exceptionally rare but very real. And the few examples found for the 1970 60-cent have made headlines, especially when struck on a 10-cent clad planchet, causing the coin to be thinner, lighter, and silver in appearance instead of the usual copper or bronze, which catches the eye immediately and sparks bidding wars among collectors and investors alike. And beyond individual striking errors, there are transitional planchet anomalies to consider, especially since the mid-1970s were a time of metal composition changes for many denominations. Although the Lincoln cent would not officially shift from the bronze composition to the zinc-coated copper until 1982, but experimental or stray planchets from test strikes might have ended up being used in earlier years, leading to extreme rarities that some experts believe could exist for 1970-60, though such examples would require metallurgical testing to confirm, which adds an aura of mystery and allure to this coin, and this is not even taking into account the overall grade or condition of the coin, which can dramatically affect its value. Even common coins become far less common in mint state or higher, and for the 1970-60 Lincoln cent, extremely high grades like MS-67 or higher are almost unheard of due to the sheer volume of coins produced and the less stringent quality control at the time, making such pristine examples exceedingly rare and valuable on their own. And when those high grades combine with a dramatic error, the value skyrockets. And that's how you get to the astounding price tag of $36,000 or more for a 1970-60 penny. It's not just about a single error or anomaly, but the perfect storm of condition, rarity, dramatic visible error, and collector demand that drive up the value, and many of these coins remain undiscovered, hiding in old jars, coin rolls, or family collections, waiting for a sharp-eyed enthusiast to spot the irregularities, which is why roll hunting remains a popular and potentially rewarding hobby among numismatists. And while some people spend years looking for these elusive coins, others get lucky with a chance find, and their life changes overnight. And as awareness grows and the supply of high-value specimens remains extremely limited, prices for rare 1970-60 error cents have continued to rise, sometimes breaking new records in auctions or private sales. And adding another layer to the value is the story, the provenance. When a coin has been part of a famous collection or was discovered under unusual circumstances, it gains an almost legendary status that adds intangible value and historical importance, which further drives collector interest. And institutions and grading companies also play a role in verifying and authenticating these rare pieces. And when a coin is slabbed with error descriptions and high grades, it not only provides assurance to potential buyers but increases market confidence and perceived value. And then there's the human element, our fascination with flaws. With the idea that something imperfect can be so perfect for a collector, a coin meant to be mundane but transformed by chance into a prize, a mistake that makes it more valuable than the most carefully crafted coin. And that contradiction, that irony, is part of what makes the 1970-60 error cents so intriguing and desirable. And so as you continue your own journey in the world of coin collecting, remember to keep your eyes open, check those dates, study those surfaces, and educate yourself about the kinds of errors that can make all the difference between pocket change and life-changing money. Because as the story of the 1970-60 Lincoln cent shows, even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. And you just might be holding one of them right now without even knowing it. And if the tale of the 1970-60 Lincoln cent amazed you, then you're going to be equally fascinated by the story behind another seemingly ordinary coin that has become a hidden gem in the numismatic world, the 1978 Lincoln 1 cent, which, under certain rare conditions and with specific types of errors, has reached values as high as $30,000 in auctions and private sales. And just like its 1976 counterpart, the 1978 penny was minted in large quantities at the Denver Mint, which means that for the average person, it would seem to be a common, nearly worthless coin, but hidden among the millions produced are specimens with striking mint errors, anomalies, and premium conditions that elevate their value from pocket change to collector gold. And to understand why some of these coins can command such enormous prices, we need to explore the range of rare mint errors and characteristics that make these specific coins so valuable. starting again with the double die errors, one of the most coveted among collectors, which result from a misalignment in the die creation process when the working die receives multiple impressions from the hub, but is slightly misaligned between each impression, causing parts of the design to appear doubled on the final coin. And while most people are familiar with the dramatic 1955 or 1969's double die obverse sense, very few know that some 1978D examples exhibit strong doubling as well, particularly in the inscriptions, "Liberty in God we trust," and even in the date itself. And when these doubling effects are dramatic and easily visible to the naked eye, collectors are willing to pay extremely high premiums, especially when those coins are found in uncirculated or high mint state condition. And then we also have the highly prized repunched mintmark errors, RPMs, which are another product of the pre-1989 minting method that involved hand-punching mintmarks into working dies. And with the Denver Mint in 1978, some cents were struck with visible repunchings of the D mintmark, creating a shadow or doubled appearance in the area, sometimes with dramatic misalignments or unusual angles. And these RPMs have been catalogued in various die varieties and are especially desirable when combined with other errors or high grades, and like the 1976 descent. The 1978D also suffers from off-center strikes due to mechanical feeding issues during the minting process, resulting in coins where the design is stamped significantly away from the center of the planchet, creating blank crescent-shaped areas on the coin, and the value of such errors can increase exponentially depending on how far off-center the strike is, and whether the date and mintmark are still visible, which is crucial for attribution and value assessment, and collectors will pay especially high prices for off-center strikes of 70% or more that still show the full date and the Denver D mintmark clearly. And then there are dramatic strike-through errors, where foreign materials such as grease, fabric, or even small debris ends up between the die and the planchet during the strike, leaving an impression or deformity in the coin that makes it unique and instantly collectible. And in 1978D Lincoln cents, some examples have been documented with dramatic strike-throughs that alter significant portions of the design, such as obliterating Lincoln's face or causing entire sections of the inscriptions to appear ghostly or missing, and such coins often spark fierce bidding wars among error specialists and enthusiasts, especially when the struck-through material can be identified or is still partially attached to the coin. And next, let's not forget about coins struck on the wrong planchet, one of the most lucrative errors in all of numismatics. And yes, even in 1978, there have been confirmed examples of Denver minted cents struck on dime planchets, or even foreign coin planchets, making them underweight and visually distinct, sometimes with reeded edges or a silvery appearance. And such errors are extraordinarily rare, as they occur only when a blank intended for a completely different denomination somehow makes its way into the wrong coin press. But when they do occur, they are often discovered only after years in circulation or by extremely attentive collectors, and authenticated examples from 1978D have sold for many thousands of dollars, especially when they exhibit full strikes and clear diagnostics. And while we're on the subject of striking, there are also coins that exhibit broad strikes, where the retaining collar that shapes the edge of the coin fails to engage properly, resulting in coins that are slightly larger in diameter, flat-edged, and often warped in appearance, which can confuse the casual observer but are quickly recognized by experienced collectors as legitimate and valuable mint errors. And some of the 1978D broad-struck cents, especially those in mint state with full details and no post-mint damage, have been valued in the four-figure range, with premium prices going to the most visually dramatic specimens. And die clashes are another fascinating category of error found on some 1978D cents, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of the opposing design onto each die and resulting in coins where, for example, parts of Lincoln's image might appear ghosted into the reverse field, or parts of the Lincoln Memorial can be faintly seen around Lincoln's bust on the obverse. And these errors are not only visually compelling but rare and highly sought after, especially when the clash is strong, symmetrical, and not obscured by later die polishing. And speaking of the dies, some 1978D cents are known for die rotation errors, in which the alignment between the obverse and reverse dies becomes skewed, causing the reverse design to be rotated off from the normal 180-degree orientation, and while minor rotation is relatively common and may not add much value, dramatic rotation errors of 60 degrees or more are rare and can fetch hundreds or even thousands depending on the angle and condition. And among all these error types, what truly magnifies the value of a 1978 cent is when these errors occur in high-grade coins, particularly those that are certified MS-66 or higher by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Because the vast majority of coins struck at that time went straight into circulation and suffered wear and tear, so finding a mint error on a coin that is also in pristine, lustrous, red condition is extremely rare, and that rarity drives the price higher and higher. And there's also the human element, the story behind each coin's discovery, the collector's journey, the excitement of finding something that no one else noticed before. A tangible artifact of a one-in-a-million accident during a time when the U.S. Mint was churning out coins by the hundreds of millions, and every so often, one slipped through. That told a different story, a story of flawed beauty and numismatic mystery, and that's why when one of these rare 1978 Lincoln cents shows up at auction, especially one with dramatic visual errors combined with high grade and originality, collectors and investors alike pay attention, because they know the window of opportunity is extremely narrow, and with each sale, each confirmed find, the total available supply shrinks, driving up demand and pushing prices even higher, and so that's how a tiny, copper-colored penny from 1978, minted at the Denver facility and easily mistaken for any other coin in your change jar, could be worth up to $30,000 or more today under the right circumstances. And it's why thousands of collectors spend hours searching through rolls, examining coins under microscopes, and checking every detail with guides and reference materials. Because finding a coin like this is like striking gold, and as we've seen, these aren't myths or exaggerations, they're real sales, real prices, real treasures, and the next one just might be in your possession right now, waiting to be discovered. And now, turning our attention to another astonishing example in the realm of modern U.S. pennies, we arrive at the story of the 1996 Lincoln 1-cent coin, an unassuming coin from recent memory that has, in select and rare cases, sold for as much as $13,000. And while this might come as a shock to many who routinely dismiss coins from the 1990s as too modern or too common to be worth anything, the truth is that certain rare varieties, errors, and high-grade examples of the 1996 Lincoln cent have stunned collectors and auction houses alike, revealing just how valuable even newer coins can become under the right conditions. And to understand this fully, we must once again dig deep into the fascinating details of minting, quality control, and the numismatic market that surrounds error coins and rare varieties, starting with the context of the 1996 cent itself, which was part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series minted from 1959 to 2008, bearing the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and produced in vast quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which together cranked out billions of pennies that year. But despite the sheer volume, it is the exceptionally rare and unusual specimens that have caught the eye of advanced collectors, particularly those with highly visible and dramatic mint errors that were missed during quality inspection, making them not only rare but deeply fascinating for error coin enthusiasts. And one of the most valuable types of errors found on 1996 Lincoln cents is the famous double die variety, which has long been a holy grail in numismatics. And although the 1996 cent doesn't have a well-known double die listed in most mainstream coin guides, isolated discoveries of strong doubling on the obverse, especially in the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust, have been documented by sharp-eyed collectors and submitted for authentication, with some of these coins showing incredibly distinct doubling that makes them stand out even at arm's length. And while lesser examples might fetch modest premiums, those with dramatic doubling in pristine condition have commanded jaw-dropping prices at auction. And then there are the rare and collectible off-center strikes, which, though they occur more frequently in modern minting due to high-speed machinery, are still rare when combined with a visible date and a dramatic off-center angle, and in the case of the 1996 cent, off-center strikes of 40% or more that retain the full date and mint mark are highly prized, with collectors willing to pay thousands for such coins, especially when they are uncirculated and free from post-mint damage, and similarly, 1996 cents with broad strikes, caused by the coin being struck without the retaining collar, produce oversized, flat-edged coins that deviate sharply from the standard form, making them easy to spot but hard to find in clean, unhandled condition, and when they are certified by major grading companies, they often sell in the high hundreds or even low thousands depending on visual appeal and rarity. And another high-value category for this date includes die cap errors, where the coin blank becomes stuck to the die and repeatedly strikes other blanks, creating a coin with a mushroomed or domed shape and blurred or stretched details. And these are exceedingly rare and often dramatic in appearance, with some of the most well-preserved die caps from 1996 selling for thousands, particularly if the coin retained recognizable design elements. And the 1996 Lincoln cent is also notable for having multiple examples of striking on wrong planchets, such as being struck on a 10-cent or foreign coin planchet, resulting in underweight coins with unusual coloration or even reeded edges. And examples of 1996 cents struck on dime planchets have been confirmed by grading services and listed at auction, where collectors have driven up the price due to the sheer rarity and visual uniqueness of the piece, and in a few documented cases, these wrong planchet errors, particularly those in mint state and with full detail, have sold for well over $10,000, making them among the most valuable errors associated with the year. And then we encounter another variety that adds significant premium to the 1996 cent, which is the floating roof variety, caused by die wear or overpolishing, where the lines connecting the roof of the Lincoln Memorial to the side pillars appear missing, giving the illusion that the roof is floating, and while not technically an error, this variety is nonetheless a collectible curiosity and has been heavily sought after by variety specialists, and high-grade floating roof cents with full red color can bring premium prices, particularly when they appear alongside other features like die cracks or die chips, which are often found on heavily used dies, creating raised blobs or lines of metal in unusual places such as Lincoln's eye, beard, or around the letters of the design. And while small die chips are common, those that are large, dramatic, or form recognizable shapes, like the so-called extra ear variety where an extra lobe seems to appear near Lincoln's ear, have become hot targets for error enthusiasts and regularly sell for significantly above face value, especially in certified mint state. And die clash errors also contribute to the value potential of the 1996 Lincoln cent, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of the design onto the opposing die, and subsequent coins struck with those dies show ghostly images from the other side of the coin, such as parts of the memorial appearing behind Lincoln's head, making for dramatic and visually interesting pieces that collectors love, and the price for strong, clear die clash errors from this year has steadily increased, particularly for high-grade examples certified by PCGS or NGC, and among all these varieties and errors, what truly sends a coin's value into the five-figure range is the perfect storm of error type and condition, when a dramatic error appears on a pristine, uncirculated coin with full original luster, the rarity factor skyrockets. And it's these types of coins that have brought in as much as $13,000 at public and private sales. A number that might seem unbelievable until you realize how few of these high-grade, major error coins exist, and with growing awareness, rising collector interest, and finite supply, the prices have continued to climb year after year, and of course, part of the magic of coins like the 1996 Lincoln cent is the element of discovery. Because these coins weren't released with any fanfare or public announcements, they slipped into circulation alongside billions of others, meaning they're out there, in penny jars, coin rolls, and change drawers across the country, quietly waiting for someone to notice what makes them special. And as more collectors get involved in roll hunting and error attribution, the odds of discovery slowly shrink while the value continues to climb, making the thrill of the hunt even more exciting and rewarding. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started in the hobby, Keep an eye on your change, examine each coin carefully, and remember that a simple 1-cent piece from 1996, if it bears the right error or anomaly and is in exceptional condition, could be worth thousands, possibly as much as $13,000 or more, and that's what makes the world of coin collecting so captivating, unpredictable, and rich with possibilities. And as we continue exploring the extraordinary value hidden within everyday coins, we now shift focus to another remarkable specimen, the 1999 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a modern piece of American currency that, under the right circumstances, can be worth as much as $10,000, an incredible figure for a coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance, yet in the world of numismatics, where die varieties, mint errors, and high-grade examples can make all the difference, the 1999 penny has earned its place among the elite modern coins with big money potential. And while the year 1999 is associated by most with the lead up to the new millennium and the anxieties of Y2K, coin collectors remember it as the year that produced a surprisingly rich array of minting anomalies in the humble 1-cent coin series, particularly within the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which was in its final decade before the shift to the Lincoln Bicentennial and Shield reverse designs in the years to follow. And, despite over 5 billion pennies being minted in Philadelphia alone in 1999, the true gems lie in the very small fraction of coins that emerged from the minting process with strikingly rare characteristics, the most notable of which is the now famous 1999 wide AM variety, a design anomaly that stands out for its reverse spacing between the letters A and M in the word America, where instead of touching as they normally do on business strikes from that year, they appear widely spaced apart, a feature that was originally intended only for proof coins minted in San Francisco but due to a die mix-up, was mistakenly used on a small batch of business strike pennies minted in Philadelphia, and these wide AM pennies are extremely rare and have become one of the most sought-after modern penny varieties, with verified examples in high-grade mint state condition fetching thousands of dollars, particularly those graded MS67 or better by PCGS or NGC, and collectors prize this variety not only for its rarity but also for the clarity of the design anomaly, which can be detected with careful inspection even by non-specialists, especially when compared side by side with a standard 1999 cent showing the typical close AM spacing. And that's not all. The 1999 Lincoln cent also comes with another elusive anomaly known as the close AM proof reverse on circulation coins, where other details like the spacing between the FG initials and the base of the Lincoln Memorial differ subtly but meaningfully from the normal business strike dies, further adding to the intrigue and collectability of the coin. And when these rare reverses are paired with high-grade preservation and full red luster, their value shoots upward into the 5-figure range. And while the wide AM variety is the best-known premium version of the 1999 cent, there are also striking mint errors that have emerged from this year's production, including off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank is improperly fed into the press, leading to coins where the design is shifted dramatically away from the center, sometimes resulting in coins with blank crescent shapes or missing features. And if these coins retain a full or nearly full date and mint mark, they become exponentially more valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. And some off-center 1999 cents with large visible shifts of 60% or more have sold for thousands, with the value increasing alongside the severity of the error and the quality of preservation. And additional value can be found in examples that were struck on the wrong planchet, such as those intended for dimes or foreign coins, producing underweight cents with different coloration, metallic composition, or edge features, and these wrong planchet errors are so rare that only a few have surfaced and been confirmed by major grading companies, making each one a prized possession for serious error coin collectors. And some have changed hands for 4- and 5-figure sums at auctions, with premiums driven by the exact type of planchet used and the sharpness of the strike. And the 1999 cent is also known to exhibit die clash errors, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, causing the design elements from one side of the coin to appear ghosted or inked on the other side, and when these clashed images are strong and easily visible, such as outlines of the Lincoln Memorial appearing behind Lincoln's bust or vice versa. These errors become visually fascinating and highly valuable, particularly when found in mint state with no significant wear or corrosion, and even coins showing extreme die polishing errors, such as the infamous floating roof variety where the top of the Lincoln Memorial appears disconnected from the pillars due to excessive die polishing, can command strong premiums in the right condition, especially when these anomalies are sharp, easily identifiable, and not obscured by wear or damage. And while many of these error types and varieties may occur individually in other years, what makes the 1999 Lincoln cent particularly exciting is the combination of a known, collectible design variety like the wide AM, along with the full range of striking errors that occurred that year due to high production volume and slightly inconsistent quality control during the minting process, creating a perfect storm for collectors to find real value in modern coinage. And when any of these error types appear on a coin that has been extremely well preserved, graded MS67 or above, full red RD, coloration, no carbon spots, no scratches or dings, the rarity increases dramatically, because coins that entered circulation typically wore down quickly, and surviving examples in gem condition are few and far between, which is why some pristine 1999 wide AM cents, as well as other major error coins from that year, have been professionally graded and listed with price tags upwards of $10,000, and in some cases, collectors and dealers have paid even more in private sales to secure standout specimens, especially those with cross-category appeal that include both variety and error characteristics in the same coin, which makes for a double rarity that is irresistible to serious numismatists. And part of what keeps values for these coins strong is the demand from multiple sectors of the coin collecting world. Those who collect by year, those who focus on varieties, and those who specialize in errors, all competing for a limited number of examples, especially in higher grades. And because of this demand and the relative scarcity of confirmed, high-quality specimens, prices have continued to rise, with no sign of slowing. And while most people continue to overlook 1999 pennies as mere change, the educated collector knows that every time a 1999 penny passes through their hands, it could be a potential treasure, and that's what makes modern coin collecting so compelling. You don't need to dig through ancient history or unearth a hoard of colonial-era silver to find something of serious value, because the treasure could be right there in your change jar, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. And whether it's the wide AM variety, a rare mint error, a wrong planchet strike, or an extremely high-grade example, the 1999 Lincoln cent has proven itself as one of the most valuable coins of the modern era, with the ability to fetch up to $10,000 or more depending on the features it carries and the condition it's found in. And with each passing year, as more of these rare coins are discovered and secured in permanent collections, the number of available examples decreases, making the next discovery even more exciting and potentially more valuable. So the next time you come across a penny from 1999, don't toss it aside, give it a closer look, check the spacing of the letters in America. Inspect for doubling, errors, or anything unusual, because you might just be holding the next $10,000 coin in the palm of your hand without even realizing it.